ECI Practice Test 2026 Environmental Compliance Inspector Certification Exam Questions. Question 1. What is the main goal of an environmental compliance inspector? To increase pollution. To ensure organizations follow environmental laws and regulations. To sell equipment. To write poetry. Inspectors monitor and enforce compliance with local, state, and federal environmental standards. Question 2. What does NTES stand for? National Pollutant Discharge Elimination System. New Program for Daily Environmental Safety. National Power and Data Energy System. Natural Plant and Diversity Evaluation Study. NTES is a permit program under the Clean Water Act that addresses water pollution. Question 3. Which federal agency is primarily responsible for environmental regulation in the U.S.? FBI, EPA, NASA, USDA. The Environmental Protection Agency, EPA, oversees environmental protection and enforcement. Question 4. What is RCRA? Resource Conservation and Recovery Act. Radio Control and Regulatory Authority. River Cleaning and Recovery Association. Renewable Coal and Rain Act. RCRA is the law that creates the framework for the proper management of hazardous and non-hazardous solid waste. Question 5. In hazmat management, what is a manifest? A type of truck. A document that tracks hazardous waste from cradle to grave. A list of employees. A map of the facility. The Uniform Hazardous Waste Manifest is used to track waste during transport and disposal. Question 6. What is an MSDS, now SDS? Safety Data Sheet. Main System Data Storage. Manual for Social Development. Scientific Data Study. Safety data sheets provide information about the properties of chemicals and safety precautions. Question 7. What is stormwater runoff? Water in a swimming pool. Rainfall that flows over the ground and picks up pollutants. Pure drinking water. Water inside a factory. Runoff can carry oil, chemicals, and sediment into local waterways. Question 8. What does CERCLA commonly refer to? The Superfund Act. The Air Quality Act. The Clean Water Act. The Endangered Species Act. CERCLA addresses abandoned or uncontrolled hazardous waste sites. Question 9. An opacity test for air emissions measures the smell of the smoke, the amount of light obscured by particulate matter in smoke, the temperature of the air, the wind speed. Opacity is an indicator of the concentration of particles being emitted from a stack. Question 10. What is a BMP in environmental management? Best management practice. Big management plan. Base measurement point. Building maintenance program. BMPs are methods or techniques found to be the most effective and practical means in achieving an objective, example erosion control. Question 11. What is pH a measure of in water quality testing? Oxygen content. Acidity or alkalinity. Saltiness. Turbidity. pH scales from 0 to 14, with 7 being neutral. Question 12. Which of these is considered a criteria pollutant under the Clean Air Act? Carbon dioxide, particulate matter, PM, water vapor, oxygen. The EPA sets National Ambient Air Quality Standards, NAQS, for 6 criteria pollutants, including PM. Question 13. What is a primary treatment in a wastewater treatment plant? Using bacteria to eat waste. Physical removal of large solids using screens and settling tanks. Adding chlorine. Filtering through sand. Primary treatment is the first, physical step of wastewater processing. Question 14. The cradle-to-grave concept means caring for babies, tracking a hazardous material from its production to its final disposal, recycling everything, burying waste in a backyard. It implies full accountability for the entire life cycle of a hazardous substance. Question 15. What is an UST? Underground storage tank. Universal Safety Test Upper Soil Tier. Utility service tool. USTs are often used for storing petroleum and require strict leak detection monitoring. Question 16. What is non-point source pollution? Pollution from a single pipe. Pollution that comes from many diffuse sources, like agricultural runoff. Pollution from a smokestack. Noise pollution. Non-point source is harder to regulate because it doesn't have a single discharge point. Question 17. What is a notice of violation, NOV? A thank you letter. A formal document informing a facility that it has failed to comply with regulations. A permit to pollute. A new law. An NOV is an enforcement action requiring the recipient to correct the issue. Question 18. In environmental science, turbidity refers to the temperature of water, the cloudiness or haziness of a fluid caused by individual particles, the flow rate of a river, the color of the sky. High turbidity can interfere with disinfection and harm aquatic life. Question 19. What is the purpose of a secondary containment system? To store extra tools. To catch leaks or spills from a primary container, example a berm around a tank. To hide the primary tank. To cool the material. Secondary containment prevents spills from reaching the environment. Question 20. What does the Clean Water Act regulate? Drinking water in homes. Discharges of pollutants into the waters of the United States. Ocean fishing. Bottled water prices. The CWA regulates surface water quality and point source discharges.